A Michigan woman's husband says she fell overboard in the Bahamas and was swept out to sea.
Well, tonight, the search for Lynette Hooker has turned into a recovery effort. Lauren Kostick traveled to their hometown in Lenawee County as the family is searching for answers.
Hello, honey. I just got a call from Booktown Search and Rescue, and I found a flotation device that I threw to Mom when she fell overboard.
Tonight, what police are calling a search and rescue mission for a 56-year-old woman who vanished at sea in the Bahamas is intensifying. Videos obtained by NBC News show rescue boats scouring the area in the critical hours after Lynette Hooker disappeared during an evening boat ride with her husband, Brian.
So we have a woman that is missing out at sea over by the Bahamas. The mission has turned into a recovery mission. What makes this interesting is the daughter expects it's foul play from her stepdad. Wait till you hear the details about the story if you have not already. Fugitive TV, stay tuned. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I am your host, Ray Marcel. And what we do here is we take a look at cases of missing individuals, cases that need spotlight, that I feel needs either a deeper dive or what the media is not telling you. In some of these cases, we take a look at it from a different point of view. See, I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. I committed some white collar crime, and then I went on the run for 15 years. I lived in different countries under different names. Eventually, I turned myself in. And everything's fine now. Now I own a few businesses. I'm talking to you guys. I'm a motivational speaker. I help family members locate missing individuals. And I also help locate people that have went on a run and need to be brought to justice. Why? Because I was on the run myself, so I know what it takes to do it. Well, today we're going to look at a case I believe that needs to be dug into. And not only that, it needs to be a deeper spotlight on this case, okay? So we have a case of Lynette Hooker. Lynette Hooker is out of Michigan. She didn't go missing out of Michigan, though. She went missing out of the Bahamas. See, she was on a boat with her husband. All right. I believe they were married for the last 25 years. And apparently she fell overboard. Now, they weren't just on a regular boat. They were on a hard bottom dinghy. Now, a dinghy is a small little boat that people usually use to transport to go to the bigger boat. So let's say if they have like a bigger boat or a yacht or some sort of, big boat that really can't get to the shore, they'll have that boat sitting out in the water at anchored, to where it can't move, right? And then what they'll do is they take the little boat like a dinghy and take that to go to land. So apparently I'm guessing that this is what happened. So they left the bigger boat out somewhere else, took the little boat, which is a little dinghy. So it's a little boat, like you sit on the edge of it, only a few of you can fit on, has a little motor, and you go, to shore. Well, I'm going to give you the details, the exact details of what happened too. But they got on the little dinghy, went to the bigger boat, and apparently the husband is saying that she fell off the dinghy. And that was the last time he seen her. And the daughter of Lynette, okay, who is not the biological daughter of Lynette's husband, Brian. Even though her and Brian were married for the last 25 years, she had a previous before that. And her daughter was the previous. So Lynette's daughter thinks that, hey, this is foul play involved. Now, before we get into the possible foul play and what could have happened, let me tell you the exact timeline of the events for you. I'm going to read this for you right here, okay?
Lynette's daughter, Carly Aylesworth, tonight revealing her mom and stepdad had a volatile history, describing him as monotone when he called to tell her the news.
They have history of not getting along, especially when they drink.
Says on 7:30 at night, Lynette and her husband Brian Hooker departed Hope City aboard a small 8-foot hard bottom dinghy traveling toward Elbow City. I'm also going to bring up the map so you can see kind of like where that's at. I've never been to these places, so I don't know. So sometimes I need a visual, especially if I've never been there, so I can see, exactly what's going on. Well, this happened apparently, I believe it was last Saturday. Yes, Saturday, April 4th is when this happened. So Saturday, April 4th, they left Hope City. They got aboard the dinghy and then was traveling to Elbow City. while navigating to their larger yacht. The larger yacht, I believe, was called Soulmate, through strong currents and bad weather. Now, apparently there was strong currents and bad weather that evening too. During this time is when Lynette fell overboard. Now, Brian Hooker told police that when Lynette fell, she was holding the boat's engine cutoff keys, okay? So people usually, if you've never been in the water before, they have like, you know, a thing that you put around your wrist and you have the keys on it. So apparently when she fell off, she had the key, the engine shut off key. And I guess when she fell off, it shut the engine off, okay? Brian stated that strong currents quickly carried her away, and he lost sight of her as she attempted to swim back to shore. So he's saying that the currents separated them, and last he saw her, apparently, I guess she was swimming to shore. I want to know how far away from shore they were. Why would she swim to shore and not to the boat? Now, was the current, you know, navigating her to shore? Because the current is navigating her to shore, like the current's pushing towards shore. That I can see, because they do tell you if you fall overboard and you're in strong current waters, don't swim against the current, swim with the current. You're going to waste your energy. So I have heard that before, but it just makes me wonder, is that why she was swimming back to shore and not the boat? Because how far did she fall off the boat? If she just tipped over, you know, you would think she'd be able to rise back up, but I don't know. I wasn't there, right? So Sunday, April 5th, 4:00 a.m., after spending hours paddling, Brian arrived at the Marsh Harbor boatyard and reported his wife missing, okay? So the initial search, local authorities, including the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue, began searching for her. Now, Monday and Wednesday, April 6th through 8th, search involving sea, land, and aerial patrols, including U.S. Coast Guard, continued for several days without success. Wednesday, April 8, 2026, the search entered its fourth day with authorities transitioning to recovery mission. That is today. So right now they are treating it as a recovery mission, meaning they don't think she's no longer alive and they have to recover her body, okay? Family reaction. Family members, including the daughter, have called for a thorough investigation. Brian Hooker released a statement stating he was heartbroken. We're going to look at that too, okay? Now, I have some questions too, okay? Apparently, you know, we all have questions when it comes to this. So let's get to some of these.
According to police, the couple set out Saturday around 7:30 p.m. on an 8-foot dinghy, traveling from Hopetown to Elbow Key. Brian telling investigators Lynette fell overboard and was swept away by strong currents, taking the boat key with her, according to authorities. Police say with the boat's engine shut off, Brian told him he was forced to paddle back to shore for help, reaching land around 4 a.m. Lynette's daughter says the pair had been in the Bahamas for about a month, documenting their excursions on social media. Lynette seen here just days before she went missing.
I haven't heard anything. I've tried to contact the police down there and I didn't get an answer.
Now, this is a post actually here from Vinnie Polton's personal group, okay? Vinnie Polton Court TV. What he's posting, he put in quotes. And we're going to get to that part because of what the daughter has said. A romantic boat trip in the Bahamas has turned into a chilling real-life nightmare, and a daughter is demanding answers. 55-year-old Lynette Hooker vanished Saturday night after reportedly falling overboard trying to reach the couple's yacht, which is called Soulmate. Authorities say it was a tragic accident, but her daughter, Carly Ellsworth, isn't buying it, not even close. Now, Carly is claiming that there was already domestic disputes and violence in the past when it came to her stepfather, Brian Hooker, okay? She is alleging there's allegations of choking, which we're going to get into that. Also, threats to throw Lynette overboard. We're going to get into that too. And then a personality shift when alcohol was involved. Now she fears the unthinkable. The fact that this is actually happening makes me believe there's more to the story. The details don't add up. Lynette had the dinghy keys, even though Brian always drives. She reportedly fell into the water, something her daughter says she would never do. Brian didn't reach help until 4 a.m., hours later. A voice note claims he threw her a flotation device, which was later found. Now, we're going to get into the voice note because I have it.
I just found that they found the floating device that was apparently thrown to her when she was in the water. I did just get updates from somebody, though, messaging me saying they have an AIS tracking system of the boat. And apparently he was on the boat while he was paddling to shore. So why was she swimming away from the boat? Why did she have the key? The story just does not make sense to me. Like, there's also been history of domestic violence in that relationship, so I do believe something might have happened to her.
Now we're going to get into the daughter's claims, okay? She's claiming that her stepdad Brian has had incidents in the past of him choking, okay? Or I should say choking out another person. See, now Brian has a daughter of his own, which is Carly's stepsister. She said that in the past, he actually choked out her stepsister. She says that allegedly Brian has also threatened to choke out her mom, Lynette, and toss her overboard.
Yes, there's history of him choking her out and threatening to throw her overboard, so the fact that this is actually happening makes me believe there's more to the story.
When did that occur? This and the prior incident?
2 years ago.
That's what the stepdaughter is saying, Lynette's daughter. Now, she's saying when they drink together, they get physical, they argue, and not only that, even though they were married for 25 years, apparently they recently broken up or separated, and just now they were trying to get back together. And this trip was them pretty much trying to, rekindle what they had. So apparently this is what happened, or allegedly this is what's going on. Now, I understand why the daughter is saying, this needs to be looked into, because if this is the truth, and let's say he did at one point choke out his own daughter, that's horrible. So if he could do that to his own daughter, then yeah, he could do that to anybody, right? If that's the case. And he did threaten to throw her overboard and choke her out as well. Now, she also says that he was the driver all the time, whether it's on the big boat, the dinghy, he has always been the driver. Okay. So it made no sense as to why, her mom had the keys when he was the one always driving. Now, she also said that her mom was a strong swimmer. Now, I do know when it comes to currents and it comes to the ocean, it's totally different than swimming in a pool, okay? You could be the world's strongest swimmer, but you're not going to be able to outswim a strong current. Now, I read earlier in the events, it said that she fell overboard and that, she starts swimming to shore. Now, I don't know if she was trying to swim with the current. Now, my question to that is, if the current was pushing her to shore, if she was swimming with the current, wouldn't the boat or the dinghy be going with the current too? You get where I'm going? Because if the current's doing like this, wouldn't the dinghy be going too? The dinghy is not, he didn't put down an anchor or nothing. So why didn't himself paddle and try and follow her or whatever it is? Now, apparently he threw her a flotation device. Okay. I want to know how strong this current was that she got separated from the boat so fast. Because if she just tipped over, and he saw her tip over, the boat's not that big. It's a little small thing. They're sitting right in front of each other's faces. So if he saw her tip over, wouldn't your first instinct would be to, I need to save her, so let me do what I can to save her, maybe throw her this boat? Me, I probably would have jumped in with her. We probably would have both died. I don't know. But I personally probably would have jumped in too. That's just me, But I don't know. You guys tell me what you want to do or what you think you would have done. But we're all saying what we could have done. Who knows? But none of us have been in that situation, right? But I just know first instinct. Here, let me throw you the floaty. Let me jump in there. Whatever it is. They have life jackets on the board is what the daughter was saying. Now, later on, he did call the daughter, Lynette's daughter, Carly, and left her a voicemail. And this is the voicemail.
Hello, honey. I just got a call from Booktown Search and Rescue, and I found a flotation device that I threw to mom when she fell overboard, and so they haven't found her yet, but they can now focus all of their efforts in a smaller area, and they're still out there searching today. So I just wanted to update you and let you know. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
So they say it's your final chance to get your side of the story. You sure you don't want to get your side of the story?
And then allegedly the daughter got a message saying that there is some sort of navigational device, okay, that somebody found out that he was on the boat while he was apparently paddling back to shore. Now, I don't know if this means he was on the bigger boat, as in the yacht, while he was paddling or apparently paddling back to shore. Because remember, she apparently fell overboard around 7 p.m. or it was 7:30 p.m. around that time. He didn't get back to shore and report her missing until 4 a.m. So we're talking about 9 to 10 hours later is when he reported her missing, when he was, I guess, paddled back to shore. Now, there's been some speculation on what could have happened, okay? Now, I'm not saying this happened. I'm not saying this. This is just for entertainment purposes only. If he has a prior past of doing this, like the daughter says, choking an individual out or threatening them, especially maybe throwing them overboard, if that's something somebody has said, especially while they're drinking, that means their emotions has came out, they're mad, and this is what they think they can do, okay? Now, if they were drinking or he was drinking, whatever it was, and then they got into an argument and you're that close, you're in a dinghy, you're literally right in front of each other's face, right? Emotions could have got the best of him. Now, if he did grab her and do that, and then let's say she passed because of that right there on a dinghy, throws her overboard because, he realized what he did, so throws her overboard, and then, throws out a life jacket like, hey, yeah, this is the life jacket. That's, to make it look like she actually fell off the dinghy. Another thing is, do we know if they actually made it to the yacht or made it to the big boat? Okay. What if they did make it to the big boat? Because remember, she said that somebody messaged her saying that navigation said that he was actually on the boat while he was apparently paddling, is what he's saying. So you can't be two places at once. So what if they did make it to the boat? They made it to the boat, was drinking, got into an argument then, okay, at the boat. So what if the big boat is the actual crime scene? And then what he did was take her out, in the water on the dinghy and then dump her off and then act like, let me throw this off aboard, Like I said, I'm not saying this happened. These are just theories of mine or speculation because both of these can be possible. So I would like to see them investigate the boat. They got to get a search warrant, investigate the boat, see what happened on the boat. That would be one of the things I will look at to see if that was the actual crime scene. Because you're going to have two crime scenes. It would either be, or I should say one, it could be two. It would either be the boat and the dinghy, meaning he unalived her on the boat, then brought her in a dinghy and took her somewhere else and, and did what he did. Or it all happened on the dinghy and he threw her off on the dinghy. Because that is a long time, 9-10 hours before he's, allegedly paddled back. We don't know if he really paddled back. He could have threw the keys off himself. Like the daughter said, he always had the keys. You guys let me know. Let me know if you heard about this story, okay? I'm going to keep a close situation on this because I want to see if he gets arrested or not. If anybody's watching this that is close to the situation, even if the daughter's watching this, Carly, you're welcome to get a hold of me. My information is always below. You can tell me whatever you want. I'm a little different than big media, so I don't have the filter. I can say exactly what I want and how I feel. So can you, okay? So let me know if you want to, if you're welcome to reach out to me. That's fine. Anybody of the family can. My condolences go out to the family that this situation has happened. I'm so sorry this has happened to your mother, Lynette, friends of her, family members, everything. Nobody deserves this, okay? So sorry that this has happened. You guys comment below where you're watching from, if you have seen this before, okay? And not only that, we're almost at 25,000 subscribers. You guys have helped my channel blow up so much. Thank you for the support. I love it. Please take care of one another. Look out at your surroundings. Watch your surroundings. Until next time, Fugitive TV, Ray Marcel, I'm out.